Good afternoon and welcome to our podcast, Little Whimsey. For those of you who are curious about what it's about, life happens and some parts of it are surprising. A lot of times it goes in different directions than you're expecting. And that's part of it. Little Whimsey itself is a Christmas village that I've been putting up for a number of years. And that's actually a little bit of a reflection of the way our lives has gone, because every year it changes. Every year it's a little more encompassing and a little more detailed. My wife Elaine and I are retired now. We're on the east coast of Canada in a small town, and we live on the edge of the small town. Basically, we have a nice house that we built together at the edge of the woods. We like trains, I like planes. We both like using our imaginations. We travel. Elaine does baking, a lot of time knitting, sewing, and I build model aircraft and fuss about the yard. It's not that much of a yard. I insisted on having one no larger than I could mow in 2 hours. Wildlife has become an important part of our daily lives, to be expected where we live. Birds by the dozen, year-round. Also chipmunks, red squirrels, gray squirrels, several generations of raccoons, a couple of black bear, a number of deer, and I can't forget our resident groundhog, Wallace, and some others that have come idly through the yard by times. They are welcome, and we've learned to adapt to them just as they have adapted to us. One thing I learned was it takes 2 good men to get a gray squirrel out of the history section in your basement library. That's a tale for another time. Some of our animals have become regulars. TC lives under our front step. He's a chipmunk. There's a little female red squirrel this year who's quite attracted to me and almost fearless. And our current generation of raccoons includes a brother and sister set. Emma had kits this year, and Pusher is very unique. Anyway, back to Little Whimsey. We have had quite an adventure with this Christmas village. It started with 1 train station and 1 train, not running, just part of our Christmas decorations in the house. But we added to it, and more engines and more cars and more track appeared from storage. And we went from occupying a fragment of the top of the china cabinet to having its own table. And with the development, I overcame a couple of things that normally would have paralyzed me. Being into models, I love scale. And it's hard to get everything in the village to the same scale. And it's equally difficult getting it to the same time period, which is not a bad thing. Who wants to be stuck in the 50s or the 90s forever? So I put aside my personal foibles over scale and time, and now we have a vast assortment of scales running in Little Whimsey. And people, obviously, from modern day, mingling with those in Victoria dress. I claim those ones are the locals who dress up for the Christmas season. Little Whimsey does draw a lot of tourists between the park and the shopping, and just the experience of being closer to nature and in a smaller place than big city. We have a lot of work to do this year. I used to begin putting Whimsy together the first week of December. Last few years I've started after Remembrance Day, November 11th. Now it's not even Halloween, and I've got to get going. Whimsy has grown again, not so much in terms of buildings, but we've added some features to it that are definitely going to take some thought to place. Where do I put the streetcar from Lisbon, Portugal? Or the delivery van that we picked up in Portsmouth? It's going to be fun. It's my chance once again to become an urban planner, provide infrastructure, do landscaping, and run some trains. We have 3 up and running now, and they're Lionel trains, so they're good size. And when all 3 are running, it sounds like Canadian National or Canadian Pacific are sitting in the yard idling and starting to roll. So yeah, we have so many choirs trying to sing over the trains. Life is a bit of an adventure. Sometimes they're really great adventures. Sometimes you have to look for something to make it great. Imagination grows, takes unexpected turns, does strange things. And what we've learned in 40 odd years of marriage is that there's no sense worrying about the might be's. Be concerned. Don't lose sleep. When you are stuck with something and can't seem to get past it, it's time to use a little whimsy. Well, just before I sign off from this episode, first of all, thanks for watching. Secondly, are going to be shots of building Little Whimsy with a little bit of technical discussion. Not terribly much. I'm not that technical. In the next podcast, and as we carry on, we'll be introducing some of the characters that we know live in Little Whimsy. Often you will find that they're built on our real lives. Not all of them are completely fictional. Hopefully after the new year, I'll be able to tell you the odd story or two about what it's like to live in Little Whimsy, and some of the events and some of the people and animals that live there. Thanks very much for watching. See you next time. And in the meantime, keep your imaginations running.